Oh, dude, that's right. So, okay. This is something that I want to ask you folks here. Like, what do you all think about unlockable characters in fighting games? Now, in 2021, this game released with 2 new characters that you could play, I believe, that were unlockable by completing the story mode with everyone. What do you guys think about that? Like that you can pick up a game and might never actually get to being able to play these characters. Like, what happens if you're a tournament organizer? This happens in Smash Brothers all the time, where a Smash game releases and I'm like, damn, great, now I need to spend 20 hours grinding characters for every one of my setups for a tournament, just so I have all the characters unlocked. Where do y'all sit? Do you want there to be an unlock everything button? Like Schwarzerblitz has a, like, here, you can just, you boot up the game for the first time and you can choose to unlock it all. Now, there's a downside to that. I think that a lot of players cannot help themselves. Yeah, Andrew, or a tournament mode, right? A tournament mode toggle. Heatwave has a tournament mode, actually, that unlocks the characters, so you don't have to go through the survival mode challenge. But I think a lot of players cannot help themselves from pressing that button. So especially, like, Schwarzerblitz puts it up to you when you boot up the game. You have to make that decision before going in, right? Heatwave has it buried in a menu. So if you know about it or you see it, you can use it. But I think there's a little less temptation to do it right off the bat. DOA 5 has an exhibition mode option at Versus. It turns on the pause, prevention, and unlocks all characters and costumes while turning off achievement unlocking. Interesting. That's good to know, right? Because like that's the question, right? How do you do that? Robo-O is another interesting approach where Robo-O has 2 secret characters, but they're available, right? They're available from the get-go. You go to the bottom corner on character select and you press down 3 times, and then you've selected, like, the character appears, right? It's kind of like Akuma off to the top in X-Men versus Street Fighter. You do that, and then when you beat the arcade mode, or you like complete the unlock requirement, what would otherwise be an unlock requirement, Robo-O tells you how to unlock those characters. So that's another way, right? They're always unlocked and available. And if you know about them, great, you can use them. And when you do a thing that's cool, you learn how to unlock them. That's another way to go about it. I do like the exhibition tournament modes. I think those are really important, especially if you're going to be a competitive fighting game. If you want to have a competitive tournament scene and you want to have unlockables, giving the option to TOs to be able to unlock it, maybe even temporarily, then that would make a difference. Andrew Mir saying, lock all non-competitive modes, including training, unlock everything for 1v1. Ah, interesting. Okay. That could be an interesting compromise. I like the idea of them as a player, even. I like gradually unlocking things. But especially for me as a streamer, for me as a tournament organizer, it's kind of difficult to have to do all of the character unlock stuff when you want to run a tournament or show stuff off on stream, right? Yeah, the Shovel Knight option of, right, using a cheat code to unlock it, I think that's good. We talked about a couple other examples. Schwarzerblitz gives you an option at the very beginning when you boot the game. Heatwave gives you a tournament mode toggle in the options menu. In the One Piece fighting game for 3DS, there's a code at the title screen to unlock characters. When you did it, it was like, wow, that was the last time. When was the last time you did a code at the title screen? It's true, right? That is like, there is something about unlockable codes and unlockable characters that is really tempting, actually, as a player, especially for single player stuff. If you want to be able to make a fighting game that appeals more to single player content and like solo players, incorporating that kind of stuff is going to be very important. Man, what is the balance, right? At what point is it a detriment to players who want to do things like tutorials, things like streams, things like tournaments? Players who just don't have the time to spend going through everyone's story mode just so they can experience the one of the characters, right? Like, that kind of sucks. Yeah, you don't compete, so you don't mind the unlock process, right? Yeah, and that's fair. But even still, I think there's a lot of players who just don't have the ability to invest that time necessarily, or it's at least a point of friction for them in trying to enjoy the game, right? I think that's my main concern about it. But yeah, but your love of fighting games mean you want 100% them either way, right? So yeah, so that's great. Like, something like the unlock system for you is actually ideal. That is something that you can get a lot out of as a player, right? And it's important to have something in your game for people like that. But what is the workaround, right? So that's always my question, is like, how do you make an unlock system not be so tempting, be such a tempting option for players to just hit the unlock it all button, right? Like, how much can you obfuscate it so that it doesn't ruin the experience of players who would rather unlock everything, but isn't also so much friction for the players who just want to get access to everything? That's a tough balance. Ooh, treasure codes in Murphite. That's a good point, Mohast, where you have this unlock code system. What there were, like, I think back to a lot of the games from the mid 90s, like a lot of the N64 era games and PlayStation era games did that, right? Where you could get little codes that you could enter that would unlock various things, whether it be cheat codes or funny modes or whatever the case may be, right? Hell, the Mario sports games on the N64 had a tournament code system where you could get codes and enter codes to play specific series of courses and then submit your scores to contests. Like, that shit is really cool. Ah, yes, so Gamers Going Blind, you're right. That is another approach you could take, right? Make it so that all of the characters are not gated behind unlocks, but that a bunch of the aesthetics are. And I think that for me would be ideal. I want to play a character and know whether or not the character is someone I want to play, as opposed to having to play other characters I know I don't want to play in order to unlock them and find out if I like them. So let me just play them. But then for the characters that I like, then I'm going to be like, oh, hot damn, I am going to invest in doing these unlock quests to get the this, that, or the other, right? The new color palette, the new alt costume, funny hats. Absolutely. So that's the other side of it, is that there is a real game design drive behind creating a system of unlocks that actually requires or heavily incentivizes a player to go and, play characters they wouldn't traditionally play. But once again, it's the balance. It's the balance between how much are you guiding your players through an experience to make sure they get to experience it all versus how much are you forcing their hand, and is that causing friction for them enjoying the game, right? This has been one of my big topics of concern about fighting games lately, is the idea of friction. There's some tough things that if you require a player to do that just to be able to see a portion of your game that they otherwise might be the love and be the thing that keeps them there. It is a shame to scare them off by having all of this friction and these like hurdles in the way. It's a call that you have to make as a developer, right? It's like how guided versus how self-guided is it going to be? Oh, those are some nice colors, man. All right, we got the Pantheon stage. You can now fight Janos. Play with any fighter in story mode. Win each round with a fatal move or alternative fatal and see... Dude, and it's a one-shot. It's a one-shot. Okay, like, once again, it's cool. Like, I like the idea of, like, unlock challenges and stuff like that. Those are super fun. I just want to play the character. Yeah, it also must be midnight. Venus has to be in retrograde. When you can finally plant your herb garden on the west side of your house, then and only then will you be able to earn the opportunity to fight someone. Yeah. I can lower the difficulty for that, which I guarantee you I will do. $30 additional must appear in the dev's PayPal within an hour of your attempt. Okay, can I just send them $30 and get access to all the characters and all the colors? Sometimes I just want to give you money so I can play your game. It's tough, man. It's tough. Because it's true. I will see a $50 fighting game and be like, I don't know about that. And then I'll also see a $10 fighting game and have them require me to unlock stuff. And I will just be like, hey, maybe I should just pay you more money. So I don't know what the answer is, dude. I don't have it figured out.